Welcome back everyone, I'm Craven and this is East 6. Last time we rescued the Rhedan people, every one of them except Isha, because she was, let's just say, kidnapped by Ernst. And at the end of the episode, Ernst raised the Ark of Napishtim, a device controlling the Atlas Ocean. So a very powerful device. So, what do we need to do? We need to try to stop him, and we need to rescue Isha by any means necessary. And that's where we are. We are having the talk to see if we have any plans on what to do next. We managed to get to Zenith Island on the little boat without the Roman army spotting us. We tried to save the little girl, but any hope of that went out the window after the room started collapsing. Damn it, we were so close too. That Emerald Garrus was every bit the rotten Roman noble I'd heard. I'm guessing that's the end of him though, considering the state of the fleet now. That Roman commander had a huge jet black sword with him. The thing wasn't your run-of-the-mill weapon either. The power it emitted was almost unlike anything I'd ever seen, almost being the key word here. How much are you willing to bet that the only weapon capable of competing with it are those 3 amulet swords of yours? Probably because we're the hero, so we need that weapon. And to be honest, it did say in the legends that the black amulets can destroy white one. But would the white one also be strong enough to fight the black amulets, or will it only be the 3 original colors? Just think about that. That Roman commander that was talking about sounds dangerous. He knows way too much about these islands for someone who's only just got here. What could he be up to? I heard you were able to rescue all of the Rhedan who were captured. Chief Ord is extremely grateful for all that you've done. So am I, of course. Is my apprentice, as you very well know. Thank you for saving him. Decided to stay in the village on Qatar to look after the chief. I can only hope he'll be able to support Ola too, now that she doesn't have Isha by her side. Homes you're willing, yeah, okay. So no plan yet, okay? Then that means what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk to every single one, and hopefully one of them will have a hint on where we need to be. I had speculated that something on Zenith Island was creating the Great Vortex. It may even be the large structure that emerged from the ocean. Having to prepare that mountain of food for the banquet was a nightmare. All that work for only the master to be in a foul mood after his guest left. He must have been very fond of him. Yeah, I think that's an understatement. But it was all part of a plan. We needed him just to get out. So, there must be the black ruins that got everyone up in a tizzy. First that thing appears, and then the Roman fleet is sunk by a sea monster. These are scary times indeed. I feel a bit sorry for the soldiers who were left behind. So, are the soldiers left behind? Yes! The fleet was wiped out? Yep, and because they were slouching off in the bar is the only reason they survived. Weirdly enough, slacking off saved my life. See? Told you right away. Kind of hard to feel happy about that though. I can't believe the entire fleet just sunk in an instant. What kind of crazy monster could do something like that? It seems that the wheels of fate have begun to turn, Adol. The capriccio played by the Great Vortex resounds in my ear. Wow, I haven't seen one of those in a while. You got a thing for finding rare goods, huh? How about I make you a deal? You're willing to trade that Kepla water for something of mine? Yeah? Right you are, my friend. Here you go. An emerald mallet. Thanks. Having this makes me feel a lot better next time I'm in a pinch during a hunt. I'll be sure to make good use of it. Phew! Spent a while trying to keep out of sight from those soldiers. Eventually I bumped into old man Ladoc we met in the bar not a long time ago. That was when I ended up taking part in the plan to distract the soldiers with Quaval and the others. There's no way I could do nothing after hearing about everything that had gone down in Katara. I'm so glad the Rhedan who were captured are alright. You were the ones who saved and the others, weren't you? Thank you so much. Yeah, and this guy. There is a part of me that's actually really saddened by him, but he had decided to go home, to go back to his wife and children. Ah, poor guy. The fleet has been destroyed, and my hopes of ever getting off the island died with it. But I'm going to live and keep my family in my thoughts. So he isn't gonna drown himself again in alcohol. Good for you, buddy. Keep the hope alive, because Adol is still here. We'd finally started to bond with one another too. I wonder where they are now. I hope the poor things aren't hungry. I'm betting they're spread out over the island, and at some point we need to capture them all. What do you mean the entire fleet got wiped out? I was all ready to try and make a deal with them to get off this island for good too. There goes my only hope of ever getting back home. Sigh. Nothing new? I was looking through my late mother's belongings when I stumbled upon an old book about amulet. In it there was a passage on how to forge a type of amulet armor. I've never seen anything like it. The only downside is that it requires quite a significant amount of ammo. I'm estimated you would need about 100,000 pieces. My interest is certainly piqued, but that's far more ammo than you're likely to find around here. Is it? Oh. Okay, we need 100,000 for the swords as well, so we're gonna need a lot. I had a good look at that black ruin that emerged from Zamet Island, and the whole of its surface seems to be made of amulets. It must have been crafted with a technology that's long been lost. Chief Ort's well versed in legends of old. He might know something about it. And there it is, the hint we needed. We need to go to Rhedan village. But before then, let's talk to everyone. Wow, it's so big. Do you know what it is? What is that black thing in the distance? What are those Romans doing too? Indirectly? Yeah. So the soldiers were subordinates of Admiral Agaris. I remember my father telling me about him a long time ago. He said that he was a member of the aristocracy before joining the military, and had some very unusual interests. Wasn't a very popular guy back in Rome either. Yeah, so everybody does know about him, so he's gotta be pretty big in Roman then. I think that's the entire... Oh no, we have the dock. That's probably where Miss Skipper is. All the Roman ships off the shore sank to the bottom of the ocean. There were some awful folk amongst them, but they didn't seem all that bad. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Yeah, cause despite everything, they're still human. They're just on the wrong side of history. We got those Romans for good. Roman army is nothing compared to the fearless leader of the Ladoc gang. Land or sea, we'll beat them all the same. Alright, let's have a look to see if there's a shop now. Based on my interaction with them, the Rhedan are a kind race with a strong sense of justice. I've grown quite fond of them. Damn Ladoc, you're supposed to respect your elders, not use them to carry out your ludicrous schemes. I'm the ship navigator, I'm not cut out for fighting. Kit Kat. Yeah. Right, one more room, and then we have the entire ship. If we're being honest here, I found the Roman soldiers to be too tumultuous, rebel. The Rhedan were far better organized than they. They're hunters, so they need to be. Because if you're a hunter and you're not organized, yeah, you're not gonna last long. Definitely not. That diversion Captain Ladoc could have works perfectly. I know he was a brilliant strategist at the sea, but knowing he's just as brilliant on land sets my mind at ease. That's our leader, alright. Yeah, you can say one thing about the Doc. His men really respects him. I mean, to an insane amount. And let's be honest, for what we've seen so far, he did prove himself. God, that strategy with getting the Rhedan back, brilliant. Alright, let's go back to the village. Let's see if we can find out anything from Ord on how to get to the Ark. There must be some legend somewhere that says there's a secret passage or something like that that will get us there. You don't know how shocked I was when those steel-clad Arisians showed up. I tried my best to buy everyone time to escape, but unfortunately, my best wasn't good enough. I'm glad you stopped by, Adol. So I want to have a chance to thank you. Really, thanks for saving everyone. Said that, we might as well give it a save. When the soldiers arrived, I was ordered by the chief to gather everyone and flee towards the shore. I steeled myself for the end when the soldiers caught up with us, but we were saved by a man named the Doc. He was kind enough to grant us passage to his ship, allowing us to successfully escape from harm's way. See, not all Arisians are bad. Just one single empire. Adol, thank you so much for saving my husband. He stayed behind to buy time for our child and me to escape. He was injured in doing so, but we'll be alright. I have to work hard enough for both of us while he recovers. Yay, Daddy's home. It's always happiest here when everyone's together. Hello, Adol. Thanks again for coming to my aid. Unfortunately, I suffered a few injuries before captured, and I'm in no state to be doing any work for a while. Or I seem to be working even more diligently than usual in my place. But it'll be such a bad trade-off if my injury leads to her finally gaining some confidence in herself. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Because she's capable of so much more, but her fear is holding her back. And there's no need for that. I hear you came to aid my son. First, you defeat the wandering calamity, then you save my son. I cannot thank you enough. Well, at least they made up their mind about Adol, that's for sure. I was surprised as anyone could be. You'd think it was soldiers from the Roman Empire who attacked this village. By the sounds of it, they had even halted a great vortex to get here. Impressive though it may be, I'm disgusted they tried to turn the Rhenans into their slaves. Alright, no more seeds, still the same one. You were the ones who saved my little Noi, weren't you? She must have been kidnapped while practicing her singing out by the entrance. You can't imagine how relieved I am to see her again. Thank you, Adol. Oh, Adol, thanks for saving me. You're really cool, you know that? I know. And since I am playing as Adol, it means I'm cool too. The attack on the village must have happened when I was out fishing. I'll tell you what, I've never sobered up so fast as I did when I heard my son being kidnapped. Don't think I'm gonna be in a drinking mood again for a while now. Anyway, thanks for saving my son. We'll have a drink together one day, so I can thank you properly. Yeah, let us first rebuild the entire village and get rid of Ernst. Thank you so much for saving Ryuk, Adol. He didn't get away in time because he was too busy hiding. He wouldn't have to join us for singing practice. I've been so worried about him. Next time he tries hiding from me, I'm going to drag him back out by his ears. I heard you were the ones who saved Ryuk and the others. We're all so thankful for what you've done for us. Ryuk was getting lost in his own little world, so it comes as no surprise that he got left behind. Oh, Adol, thank you for saving me. You were really cool. I wish one of the adults would say I was cool. They say thank you a lot, but that's not as much as being cool. I just gone to stock up on some materials while we were running short of, when all of a sudden a group of Arisians came across the bridge and captured me. I don't even want to think about what could have happened if I weren't there to save me. Thank you. Thank you so much. A large group of Arisians clad in battle garments attacked the village without warning. I could hardly believe what I was seeing at first. Fortunately, Wolf's quick thinking led us out of the village to safety, where we were rescued by one-eyed Arisian. The one-eyed bandit, definitely. Thank you very much for saving Rak, for saving everyone, really. We were let out of the village by Quaval while Chief Ord tried to fend the attackers off. I was starting to panic once I noticed Rakshay wasn't with us. Once she's old, she doesn't move as fast anymore. Hey, well, I won't thank you for saving me, but I guess I should thank you for saving Ola and the others. Yep, right as ever. I knew Ord was gonna be in his own chamber, but I want to check the rest first before we might get a scene here. You came after all. Adol, you came to see us. I was hoping that you might come. I have something important that I must discuss with you. Ola, I must speak with Adol alone. What? How come? I want to thank him personally for rescuing our people. Alright, Uncle. Come along, let's do as he asked. Aww. Well, if you say so. Words cannot express how grateful I am for all that you've done for us, Adol. Both for saving my people, as well as saving my son from those demonic soldiers. It pains me to burden you further, but if anyone is worthy of knowing, it is you. It is time you learned the truth behind the Ark of Napishtim. The truth about Alma, the Ark, the keys. Long, long ago, long before the time of anyone in this village, there once existed a country inhabited by winged gods across the ocean to the far west. The Alma, whom we rather revere, came here from that very country. She came to guard the Ark of Napishtim, a device which controlled both sea and sky in order to protect the world's balance. Our Rhedan ancestry probably served her and assisted her in protecting the Ark. However, the balance the Ark had created was not to last. Another group of Alma followers, those without tails, stole something precious from her. It was called the Black Key. It took the form of a mighty blade and was used to control the Ark. And using the Ark's power, they sought to surpass the gods that they should have instead have adored. However, even with the key, they were still human. They could not hope to do everything a god could. The Ark began to malfunction in time. The seas, the skies turned wild, and the very world was threatened. Lamenting the betrayal of her people, Alma created 3 keys to act in a place of the original one. She put a swift end to the monster that the man had created, and succeeded in sealing away the Ark. But, in doing so, she had exhausted her strength. Her task now completed, she sublimated, and her remains became the keystone that held the Ark sealed. This is a story passed down through the chiefs of our tribe. I suspect that the black-haired man is a descendant of the people who stole the Black Key from Alma, and I fear he intends to use Isha, a descendant of the priestesses that blessed with Alma's power to make the Ark his own. Adol, may I entrust you with this? A wyvern medal. Yeah, we haven't even checked what the hammer actually is doing, so let's do that after this. That acts as a key to enter the ruins under the Windseeker Heights in northwest Katara. There lies an ancient city in which our ancestors lived, preserved exactly as it always was. On the lowest level of the city is the Black Corridor, through which Alma passed when she went to seal the Ark. Adol, you've obtained all 3 of the keys created by Alma. I don't believe this to be a mere coincidence. If anything, all that has transpired is due to Alma's guidance, right to when I first passed you my own sword. As such, I will ask you for nothing further from you. Isha, the Ark, I leave everything to your discretion. Yes, you can leave it to us. Oh, Adol, you were in there for ages. What were you talking about? Was it about Isha? You mustn't pester Adol. I need your help changing Uncle Ord's bandages, so come with me. Fine. But you're gonna have to tell me later, Adol. Promise? You know, Adol? No, it doesn't matter. I have to go tend to my uncle now. Let's go back in as well. His wounds are just awful. I don't think anyone could hurt my dad like this. I almost figured he was invincible in some way. It pains me to even think about this, but if it weren't for you and Professor Rabba, my uncle would no longer be with us. Thank you so much. She just thanks us a lot, isn't it? The entrance to the ancient city is at Windseeker Heights, northwest of here. Don't let these two know. Insert the medal into the slot in the stone monument there and the door will open. Alright, thank you. So, first let's change this to the file. I think we're more than ready for that. Oh yeah, and of course, the hammer. A mallet-shaped charm made of enamel. Increases enamel obtained by the owner. Ooh! This is a really nice item to have when we're grinding for enamel later, because we need a lot. And I mean, a ridiculous amount of a lot. But I would love an extra accessory slot for that. To achieve Rhedan, I'll do whatever I must in his stead. I understand how hard it must be on Ola, but it's imperative that she finds the energy to fulfill her duties. In trying times as these, the villagers need the encouragement of the priestess now more than ever. Totally agree with that. I think she can do it. She just lacks a little bit of confidence. I haven't seen Isha around anywhere since we got back here. Has she gone to visit the regions again? Don't they know? When those scary people came into the village, they almost caught me. But Silva saved me. He put them off so I could escape. He's kinda scary too, but I know I need to thank him. And that's actually cute. I'd never seen water stay rough in all my days. And now there's some huge monster swimming around the coast to top it all off. No way I can get out to sea like this. Honestly, some people are just so heartless. What need was there for a reason to bring about such destruction? I won't be able to work on the festival preparations sometime with the village like this. So, is there going to be some extra quests around, or do we just need to go to Windseeker Heights? We should stop eating all those things and try to become a warrior too. I'll talk it over with Quavald sometime. No. Don't talk it over, just do it. I think you can. Do you know where Isha is? I've looked all over the village, but I can't find her anywhere. I wonder what's going to happen with the festival. Everyone was really looking forward to it too. Sounds like Chief Ord's in a real bad way. It's hard to believe that anyone could be stronger than him. Ola says he's alright, but I can't help but worry, you know? I think they should go through with the festival. Because let's be honest, I think morale is really low right now. And they can really use that boost. It would be really nice if we could get Isha back here before it happened. My injury has given Monica the chance to finally develop some confidence in herself. It felt like one bad thing after another recently. I'm happy something good came out of it all. Seeing you and her work so hard has inspired me as well, believe it or not. I feel that every little thing I've tried for a long time now. I always thought it was because I'm too clumsy, but that wasn't it at all. The truth is, I simply wasn't trying hard enough. Saying I was clumsy and letting that be the end of it was just making excuses for myself whenever I messed up. After all, I've really been trying my best. I could have at least been proud of things even when I failed. That's true, but even in failure, you learn something. That's true in games and in life as well. I wish Isha would teach us the rest of the song soon. Can't wait to start singing again. What could be the black structure that appeared at the Sanctum B? With so many terrible things happening one after another, it's easy to start feeling like everything is a bad omen. I know what you mean, old man. I know what you mean. Word around the village is that all the festival preparations are on hold for now. Tradition or not, would you really blame anyone after all that's been happening? We could. Wouldn't be right to do so. So now we've got a gigantic towering ruin where Zement Island used to be. A tower shows up, the fort gets even more violent. I shudder to think of what nature is in store for us next. I've always been a coward, so I'd be lying if I said I wasn't feeling apprehensive about all this. And being a coward probably was the one thing that saved his life when he got into the vortex. Alright. You got anything new? I don't think we're going to be able to hold the festival for a while now. Not with Chief Orc injured and the sanctum state it's in. Everyone's still pretty shaken up. Okay, so I say let's go to Windseeker Heights. Let's see what the medal is doing for us. And I'm hoping once we get inside we're gonna have some new monsters, which I can use to grind up some more ammo. Especially with the ammo hammer we got. So, check it out. Right, back to Windseeker High. Hey, there's a pickard! Caught a pickard. Curiouser and curiouser. I know we need to be at Windseeker Heights, but I want to rescue the pickards as well. Okay, let's unlock this place first. Damn, look at that. That's beautiful. It really is. Adol inserted the wyvern metal into the depression on the front of the monument. And there it is. Entrance to a new ruin. Ruined city of Kishgal. Let's have a quick look around. Let's learn a little bit of the monsters. Whoa! Ooh, that's definitely a bigger animal. Definitely. Yeah, I want to do at least the first 2 screens. So I have a place to grind up some ammo, especially seeing how big it is. And I also want to check then, whoa, if I really need the light accessory. I don't see like a circle around us that we are lighting this place up. And if we don't need it, we can use it for something else that aid us in battles. The blade is not damageable. And of course the foul meat is now standard drop. Awesome. Definitely gonna help. And this downward thrust, it's perfect for new encounters because it stuns them, it hits them, and it lowers the chance of us getting hit too much. And we all know that eventually they will be weakened enough for us to get into it head on. What's that? It looks like a dancing man being stuck at the wall. Like, yeah. It's a boss. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna leave this one for next episode. Because I think we can get in there without triggering the boss. We get the close probably. So we have an entire screen of potential ammo. And of course, experience. Whew. The other thing I want to do is maybe look for all the pickards on the island. So that is definitely a side quest. And if you know where it is, I'll probably make a small compilation of us getting them. And after that, giving them back to the farm in the Morse village. Well, the cash is decent, as well as the ammo. It's just taking a bit of a long time because we're not used to the enemies just yet. So, getting enough ammo to get the new level armor. Because I'm hoping that once we get 100,000, we get the option when we talk to leave to get that armor set. And after that, of course, upgrading the weapons as well. Because the higher it is, the better it is. And like I said, I'm still hoping out to get a seed bank somewhere that I can buy power and defense nut as well. If that's the case, we're gonna go full on the defensive nuts. Definitely, because if we can get our defense up like for 100 points, there isn't a single thing in this game that's gonna hurt us. Yeah. So if it will come into the game, it's probably gonna be expensive, but yes. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna search around the island, see if I can find the pickards. I will try not to pick them up. And in the next episode, I will show you all where they are before continuing on into this dungeon with finding more, well, enemies, ammo, treasure, and of course in the end getting towards the Ark of Napishtim. because we know Alma went here to seal it. It could also be a way to get there, or at least create a way to get there. So yeah, that's gonna be next time. I hope to see you all there, but until then, I wish you a great night, morning, day, wherever you are. And if you like this video, hit that button and I will see you next time. Bye bye.